In the 17th century, later Jin was a state established by the Jurchen tribe in Manchuria, with the tribal leader Nurhaci. Throughout his reign, later Jin gradually grew and absorbed all the surrounding tribes. Nurhaci established a military organization called the Eight Banners, which became a threat to the Ming dynasty in northern China. During the reign of Nurhaci's son, Hong Taiji, later Jin launched military campaigns against Mongolia and Korea to expand its territory and extend its influence. At that time, the Ming dynasty in China was severely weakened. Hong Taiji believed that the Ming dynasty had lost its mandate of heaven, and it was now the time for him to be granted by the heavens the opportunity to govern a vast China. The mandate of heaven is an ancient philosophical concept in China that speaks about the cyclical nature of a feudal dynasty. A newly established dynasty will enter a period of initial development and prosperity. In the middle stage of the dynasty, it will begin to decline due to various issues within the royal court, heavy taxation on the farmers, and deteriorating infrastructure. In the final stage of the old dynasty, it will lose its mandate due to corruption, natural disasters, floods, droughts, famine, epidemic diseases, and invasion from other countries. And then, it will be the time for a new dynasty to be born, granted by the heavens to continue governing the kingdom. In 1636, Hong Taiji declared himself emperor and changed the country's name to Qing, focusing on the goal of conquering China. The Chinese term Qing in this case consists of the radical shui, meaning water. On the other hand, the term Ming is a combination of the characters Ri for the sun and Yue for the moon, both representing the element of fire in ancient Chinese astrology. Therefore, this writing style metaphorically signifies the Qing army's conquest and victory over the Ming dynasty. As water extinguishes fire, the Shenyang Guan is a strategic border pass used for defense against invasions by northern nomadic tribes. It holds a significant position in preventing the Qing army from invading China. Despite multiple attempts, the Qing army failed to conquer and surpass this border pass. In 1644, the Ming dynasty was greatly weakened, and the capital city of Beijing was occupied by rebellious forces led by Li Zicheng. The reign of the Ming dynasty officially came to an end when the last emperor, Chongjin, committed suicide by hanging himself. The general in charge of defending Shenyang Guan was Wu Songui. He led his troops to rescue Beijing upon learning that the capital had fallen and the Ming emperor had died. Initially, he decided to surrender to Li Zicheng. However, when he received news that his wife had been captured and his father had been killed, he became furious and changed his mind. He brought his troops back to Shenyang Guan, opened the city gates, and sought cooperation with Prince Doragan. He allowed the Qing army to enter China and together they defeated Li Zicheng. The Li Zicheng was defeated by the Qing army. Subsequently, the Qing army captured Beijing and officially established its control over a vast territory in China, becoming the ruler of a vast Chinese empire. After the unification of China, several Han individuals, such as Wu Songui, Shang Dixon, and Gang Jingzhong, were appointed as regional lords in the southern territories of Fujian, Guangdong, and Fujian. However, during the reign of Emperor Kangxi, he deemed these territories detrimental to the Qing dynasty's governance and issued an order to abolish them. Feeling deprived of their privileges, Wu Songui rose in rebellion and called upon the other two regional lords to join him in resisting the Qing dynasty. Initially, this movement garnered support from many regions throughout the country. However, due to the lack of intention to unify among the anti-Qing forces, the movement was eventually suppressed and disbanded. In the years that followed, Emperor Kangxi personally commanded a series of campaigns to expand the territory and consolidate the empire. He even defeated the Russian Empire in the north. During the reign of Emperor Yongjung, he governed the country with an iron fist, suppressing corrupt officials ruthlessly. During his rule, he implemented comprehensive administrative reforms, and the national treasury grew significantly. In 1735, Emperor Yongjung passed away suddenly, and his son, Emperor Qianlong, ascended to the throne, continuing to bring prosperity to the Qing dynasty through costly military campaigns to Myanmar, Annam, Tibet, and the western regions. These campaigns, known as the Shiquan Wugong, were mostly successful, with only failures in countries like Annam and Myanmar. The Chinese territory expanded more than ever before, solidifying the empire's power and influence. The reign of the three emperors, Kangxi, Yongjung, and Qianlong, marked the most glorious and splendid era throughout the dynasty. However, towards the end of Emperor Qianlong's reign, after reaching the pinnacle of power, he neglected state affairs and indulged in extravagant pleasures. Corruption resurfaced within the court during this time. A high-ranking official known as Heshen gained immense favor from Qianlong and amassed an unimaginably colossal fortune through accumulation and corruption. After the passing of Emperor Qianlong, Emperor Jiaqing ordered Heshen to commit suicide and seized his entire wealth. The estimated value of Heshen's corrupt assets was equivalent to the Qing dynasty's national treasury's income for 12 years. Following Heshen's death, corruption continued to prevail both within and outside the Forbidden City. In the 19th century, the emergence of opium became a serious issue in Chinese society. It was grown in plantations of the British East India Company in India and then transported to the Chinese coast, where it was sold to merchants and subsequently distributed to the general population. This led to widespread addiction and the Chinese society sank into opium dependency. Emperor Daoguang then issued a prohibition order and confiscated 1,200 tons of British opium without compensation. Additionally, trade with foreign countries was also sealed off. The British Empire became angry and declared war against the Qing dynasty, leading to the outbreak of the Opium War. This war revealed the backwardness of the Qing military. Despite having a much larger army in terms of numbers, their techniques and tactics were incomparable to those of the British forces. The Qing army suffered a major defeat and was forced to sign unequal treaties and cede Hong Kong to the British as a colony. Following the war, the dissatisfaction of the people towards the Manchu Qing dynasty continued to escalate. At that time, a Confucian scholar named Hong Ziyuguan had a dream in which he saw the heavenly emperor and Jesus Christ bestowing upon him a divine sword to eliminate the Qing enemy. In his dream, he referred to Jesus Christ as his elder brother. This dream triggered his discontent with the Qing regime, and he proclaimed himself the younger brother of Jesus Christ, using the principles of equality from Christianity as the foundation for establishing a new government. He embarked on a missionary journey, spreading his teachings far and wide. In 1850, he initiated a rebellion, declaring the establishment of a new government known as the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom and aiming to build a Christian nation. The force of Hong Shouchuan was very strong, and in less than a year, they managed to seize a large area in the southeastern region. Hong Shouchuan captured Nanjing and renamed it as Tianjin, declaring it the capital of the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom. However, despite the victories against the Qing dynasty, Hong Shouchuan and the generals made a crucial mistake. Instead of pursuing strong military campaigns, they focused on building the administrative apparatus. This strategic error allowed the Qing dynasty to regain composure, rebuild their military, and launch a counteroffensive against the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom. In the final phase of the war, due to their own interests being affected, the British and French provided support to the Qing dynasty, leading to the defeat of the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom. In 1864, Tianjin was besieged and occupied by the Qing army, leaving no escape route for Hong Shouchuan. Facing imminent capture, Hong Shouchuan committed suicide within the city walls. The military and government of the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom disintegrated after 15 years of existence. The war between the Qing dynasty and the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom was a brutal and bloody conflict, considered the second deadliest in history after World War II, with estimated casualties ranging from 30 million to 100 million people. By the end of the 19th century, a new leader emerged in China known as the Empress Dowager Cixi. She originally came from a humble background as a concubine of Emperor Shanfeng. However, due to giving birth to a prince and the subsequent death of Emperor Shanfeng, the young prince ascended the throne, and Empress Dowager Cixi assumed the role of regent. becoming the unofficial ruler of China for a period of 47 years. After a series of wars with Western powers and internal rebellions, the Qing dynasty realized their inferiority in all aspects. As a result, the Westernization movement emerged within the Qing court. They actively invested in military advancements and were willing to cooperate with the West in constructing numerous factories, including military-industrial complexes, mechanical workshops, shipyards, and railway lines. The Qing dynasty imported various machinery from the United States for the production of rifles, cannons, torpedoes, ammunition, and shipbuilding. They constructed the largest military-industrial plants in Asia at that time. The Beijing fleet was a modern fleet of the Qing Navy, regarded as the most powerful fleet in Asia and the 8th most powerful fleet in the world. Despite being well equipped, the scourge of corruption had undermined its strength, to the point where even the ammunition was being embezzled and sold by unscrupulous individuals for personal gain. In 1894, the Sino-Japanese War broke out, and the Beiyang fleet was deployed to the Yellow Sea to engage in combat. However, due to poor leadership and weak discipline, despite possessing formidable weaponry, the fleet suffered defeat against the well-organized naval forces of Japan. Following the war, the Qing dynasty lost control of Taiwan and its influence over Korea, which shifted to Japan's favor. In 1899, the Boxer Rebellion erupted as a violent movement against the influence of Western powers in China. The Boxer militants spread throughout the country, targeting and beheading tens of thousands of foreign missionaries, including Catholic and Protestant followers. Subsequently, diplomats, soldiers, and foreign civilians sought refuge in besieged legation compounds, enduring a 55-day standoff until the intervention of an 8-nation coalition came to their rescue. Afterward, the 8-nation coalition suppressed the Boxer Rebellion and rescued the besieged foreign diplomats and civilians. They subsequently occupied and looted Beijing. The Qing dynasty was then compelled to pay a war indemnity of £67 million to the 8-nation coalition as they failed to control the uprising of the Boxer militants. After enduring the humiliation of signing unequal treaties, the Qing dynasty made the decision to reorganize their military once again. The new Beiyang army was established as a military force trained and equipped entirely according to Western standards, under the leadership of General Yuan Shikai, an ethnic Han Chinese general. In 1908, Emperor Guangxu and Empress Dowager Cixi passed away, leaving a power vacuum and an unstable government. A young emperor ascended the throne at the tender age of 2. During that time, a physician named Sun Yat-sen founded the Revive China Society in Japan, advocating for a revolution to overthrow the Manchu government and restore China to the Han Chinese. Chinese and overseas Chinese and the United States actively supported this cause, providing weapons and ammunition to build an army in preparation for the overthrow of the Qing dynasty. In 1911, the Wuchang Uprising erupted, and the revolutionary forces swiftly achieved victory, seizing control of most southern provinces and the city of Nanjing. Sun Yat-sen established a provisional government and became the provisional president. Subsequently, the Qing dynasty, under the leadership of General Yuan Shikai, brought troops from the northern regions to suppress the nationalist government, resulting in significant difficulties for the Republic of China. To put an end to the internal conflict, Sun Yat-sen proposed a 5-point agreement. According to the agreement, if Yuan Shikai could successfully overthrow the Qing dynasty, he would be elected as the provisional president. Yuan Shikai agreed to return to Beijing to overthrow the Qing regime and the young abdicated emperor's government. On February 12, 1912, the Imperial Edict of Abdication was issued, officially marking the end of the Qing dynasty's 268-year rule over China.